Hello everyone, welcome to part 23 of reactjs tutorial with Laravel for beginners, and we will continue working on the CMS Pages module. And in this video, we are going to show the content dynamically for our Rect app, CMS Pages content. Okay, like we are going to work on the About Us page content. We are going to show the About Us page content dynamically from the database via Laravel 9. Okay, and for that, we have just created the API CMS API in the last video so that we can use the content, and this content is coming from the database dynamically. Okay, whenever the content will get updated, and it will also reflect on the React app as well. Okay, so this data we are going to show here. We are going to fetch this API via Axios. Okay, Axios help us in the for getting the data from the APIs when we will use the HTTPS call, when we will get from some third party APIs from the HTTPS calls, and then it will help us to get the data from such APIs. Okay, so let's start working on this one. And here we are going to modify the about component, about.js component. Okay, here we will call the API so that we will get the data dynamically. So first thing is we are going to import Axios that we are going to use here. Import Axios. Axios is just like we can say the Ajax, but here it will we are going to use in the for the APIs only. Okay, and we use it because we want to call the third party APIs. We want to call those APIs because we want to get the data from the database with those APIs. Otherwise, it is not possible. Okay, so now see, we have just import, and now here inside this I'm going to do it like this, and one constant variable I'm going to take for the About Us page. Okay, and I'm going to take here const, uh, here I will take like page set page, and this is use state. We are going to use state. Okay, this is the syntax for declaring the variable in React. Okay, we have declared the page variable here, and this is the way that we used in reactjs. Okay, so now the next thing is to fetch the data, and this is possible via Axios. Okay, so I'm going to fetch the data. Fetch data. We are going to fetch the data from the API. So this is the another syntax that you need to add for fetching the data from the API. Okay, so don't worry about the syntax. This is the syntax only that you need to follow. Return Axios. Okay, Axios dot get. Okay, and here the URL, like we will get the data from this API. I'm going to copy and paste this API here in our code from About Us, and dot then, and response will come here, response. Okay, so here uh, set page response dot data, and here we will measure it like CMS page details. Okay, so here we can see that we want to fetch the CMS page details data here from the API, and because we just require the CMS page details, in this CMS page details we are having all the data that we require to show on the React app. Okay, here we require the title and description for now, and both the things are here inside the CMS page details. So we have just added the CMS page details. So other data we are going to ignore, like status and massive we're going to ignore. We are just going to pick this data. Okay, this particular data. So once we will get this one, Then we will also use here use effect. This is the another code that you need to write here. uh, so that we can call this fetch data function. Okay, here inside this is basically to call this function, this one we are calling here. Okay, so like we have called earlier also, I think we have used this one to call some other function earlier. Okay, in the same way we are calling the fetch data function, and that is possible to call inside the use effect. So it works like the constructor function. If you remember that we use the construct function, that is automatically called before any function. Okay, so this one just load, this function will just load before any function, and it will call from this API, and whatever the data we will get from this API, that is located in the CMS page details array, that we can able to use in the HTML. Okay, so this is the HTML where we can use this data that we have just called from the API. So now we are going to modify here, and here I'm going to remove this one. So we dynamically going to show. So first is we are going to use the map function. Map is the for each kind of function. Okay, uh, and we are going to use here page object like this. And once again, uh, what I'm going to do here, after here I'm going to do it like this. So here I'm going to return div. Inside this div, I am going to have the h1. First of all, in h1 we are going to mention the title. In page object we are going to mention the title. Okay, and after that in p tag we are going to mention the description. Description. Okay, then we will close the div here, that we have just started. Div we will close like this. Here we're going to check once, return div, fine, and after that this one, after that we are going to close this one as well. This one is not required. I think some issue is coming somewhere, we're going to see. That's why this red, it is coming in red. It means there maybe there is some issue in the syntax. Page dot map, then page object start. Okay, then this arrow object, then curly bracket start, then return. Okay, so div comes here, fine, and h1. After that h1 is closed. Okay, here we forgot curly brackets. Now it seems to be fine. Okay, so how good it is, it tells us that we have the error, so that's why it changed the brackets to the red, because the brackets are not matching and it's not complete. Okay, so now we can try there, we can check there that uh, use state is not defined. So we are going to see here what's the issue. Okay, we need to add for the use state, I think we need to add like we used to add for the others as well. Here you can see use state we need to add in the same way here after rect. Okay, so like use effect, we are going to use the use state as well. I think now it must work fine. Let's see. So now this time you can see that the content is dynamically added. Okay, you can see the about us heading, and this is the description. Okay, so if you will go to any other page, here you will come, you can see this one. So I'm going to update the content here in the admin panel. So I if I will here add like about stack developers as the heading, and here uh, uh, stack developers YouTube channel provides the Laravel and reactjs tutorial. So if I'm going to update this one, submit, and now I am expecting the change here I'm going to refresh, and you can see here it is coming about stack developers. This is the app name, about stack developers. Stack developer YouTube channel provides the Laravel and reactjs tutorial. Whatever we have updated in the admin panel, it is showing here in the react app as well. And also it will show here if we're going to refresh, and here you can see the about stack developer, it is coming, and here stack developer YouTube channel provides the Laravel and reactjs tutorial. So whatever we have updated in admin panel, it is showing in the Laravel website, Laravel 9 website, and it is also showing in our React app as well. So I hope that you can do this for the other pages as well. So please try for these two pages. I think that you can able to do. So do this one for FAQ as well as for the privacy policy. Create two more components, and make their APIs. API is almost ready. Okay, you can see you just need to replace this one with the route of that one, and then you can call those APIs to show the content dynamically. Okay, so try this one at your end. So that's all for now. Have a nice time. Goodbye.